Welcome along to our weekly devotion. I'm sure you find life is really busy and life is very, very noisy at times. I'm driving along in the car this morning, there's horns blaring, there's busyness on the roads, there's roadworks, there's music in the car, there's just noise all around you. And it's just like no time to be in that moment of thought or silence or whatever. Then tonight we've got the major footy match here in Brisbane, and that's going to be full of noise, people screaming for their teams and yelling and chanting and all the rest of it. And the noise levels will just be absolutely out of control. And then when we watch television or the media, we know that rhetoric is everywhere. There's the politicians that they're renowned these days for speaking and speaking and speaking, but really saying very little that seems to be of help or understanding to the communities that they supposedly represent. And we listen to singers, and they're singing these amazing songs with lots of lyrics in it. And if you attend a concert, perhaps you come away afterwards thinking, I don't really know what they were singing about. It's not really very clear at times. But when we come to God's word, the scriptures tell us that all of our words, every word that we've ever spoken, every word that we've ever been involved in life, that we're going to give an account one day to God for every careless word, according to Matthew 12:36. So every word that we've spoken, as we stand before God, it seems like our words will be considered by him. He's going to weigh them up and consider what you've done with our words, how we've used our words. And that's going to be all of the words of our whole lives, everything we've said. And that's a scary thing. So what we say, how we use our words, is actually something that is very, very serious indeed. The Irish singer Ronan Keating, he once sang this song, "You say it best when you say nothing at all." And his point was this: sometimes silence or that moment of quietness has a very powerful voice and is actually very, very necessary, because you say things best when you say nothing at all. There's a lot of wisdom in that. Every Christmas season, for example, we sing that amazing hymn by Joseph Moore, Silent Night, Holy Night. And there's something uniquely holy about the silent stillness movement of God and all of that he's sort of processing in our minds there. Just being still, being silent, and let the holiness of God just move over our lives and move through our beings and really bring us to that place of full understanding of who God is and what he wants to be about. One of my favorite biblical authors is Solomon. Very controversial person, we know that, but he was the wise man, if you want. So he said in Ecclesiastes 3, verse 7, that there's a time for everything and there's a time to be silent. There's this time in life when we just need to be absolutely quiet and absolutely silent. Then in Proverbs 11, verse 12, we also read that a person of understanding remains silent. When we have this understanding about things, when we have this godly nature in our minds about things, we know there's a time to be silent, a time to remain silent. And we do that because we don't want every careless word to be taken by God and have to be weighed up. So we want to use our words carefully and weight them with a great deal of sensitivity. So I want to encourage you in the busyness of life today, somehow try and find that time of quietness, that time of silence with God, where you just sit and bask in the presence of God, in the stillness of God, and the holiness of God, and the quietness, just you and God. Doesn't have to be any words spoken, but you're just basking there in his presence, because sometimes just being with God says it all. And that unique moment between you and God, well, it emphasizes that silence truly is golden. And we want to have that. Silence is golden. Let's chase after that. But let's be wise with all of our words and use them for God's glory. Have a great day and find that time just to be quiet, still, silent before God and with God. Just you and him together, basking and enjoying one another. What a wonderful blessing and privilege that is. Have a great time. Look forward to catching you next week. See you then.